What's up, everybody? Michael Stevenson here. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Well, this is yet again another roundup video. Again, I'm trying to do some good stuff. So this is a roundup video of some of the good things that I enjoyed from this month, April 2024. Let's do it. Wow. So if this is your first time here on my channel, I would ask that you please go back and, subscribe, like, comment, all that stuff. Listen, yes, this is part of my entertainment industry series. So for the most part in that series, I do a lot of criticism, talk about what's wrong with current Hollywood, what's wrong with fandom, etc., etc. But if you did see one of my most earliest videos, like my opening video for the channel, you will learn that I'm trying to keep things positive, sort of as positive as I can. That was my remote. So usually at the end of every month, I try to do a roundup video of some of the good things that I thought were pretty positive coming out of the world of entertainment, art and entertainment. And so this is that video. This is the third one, April 2024. And boy, there were actually quite a few good things in this one. So I really honestly don't know where to begin because there were some things that were interesting. I really don't want to turn this video negative or anything like that. But can we first start with the whole opening of April? So if you have been watching my channel, and most of you have not, so this might be your first video, or I don't know, you might be binging my videos now that you found me, you would know that at the very beginning of April, I did a whole week, maybe even a week and a half or even 2 weeks of videos talking about the current state of comedy within the entertainment industry. So, I talked about stand-up comedians. I talked about how comedy doesn't get the respect that it deserves, how comedy movies are just not the same, et cetera, et cetera. And obviously, the reason why I wanted to do that, because I was doing mostly Marvel videos, but I took a break to do the comedy stuff. The reason why I wanted to do that is because y'all know that, April 1st is April Fool's Day. It's literally the designated day for pranking and things of that nature. Why is it that I don't remember a single prank? Like making it onto the news, or a national prank, or something funny that a comedian did, or something funny that celebrities did, or it's a video that went viral for a prank. Like, I don't remember a single thing this April 1st regarding a prank or something, some kind of amazing, fantastic comedy bit, something funny. Did anybody else notice that? Did I miss out on some things? Were there some brands or something that did anything? Because if so, let me know in the comments below, because I swear to God, it went completely over my head. It zoomed by my eyes, whatever. I don't remember a single thing, anything, any kind of anything that made news and that specifically was there to make me laugh. But with that said, at least we did get Taylor Swift's new album. Now, and again, I want to make sure that this did come out in April. So if it didn't, correct me. But I'm almost certain that it did come out in April of 2024. Because, time has sort of been flying by, and I can't believe that I'm even recording this when I'm recording this. I'm recording it the 28th of April. I could have swore I was just doing some comedy videos, but that was like 2, maybe even 3 weeks ago. So anyways, Taylor Swift's Tortured Poets Department has dropped, and listen, that girl was in love with Maddie Healy. Okay, like I really like me some Taylor Swift. But oh boy, like I feel, yeah, I don't know. There's something weird about it. Number one, she seems to love her foreign boy, right? But then she definitely seems to love her some Maddie Healy, because it just felt like a lot of the songs on there referenced, what's his band, the 1976 or something like that. It was a good album. I don't know. It's not in my top 3 Taylor albums, or because see, I don't even know if I have a favorite song off of it right now. I've only played through the album maybe once, like the whole album. I've only played through it once, so it's okay. It's okay. I feel like it's one of those albums that will somehow get much better the more and more you listen to it. Well, I don't even want to. I was actually almost going to mention another artist, but and y'all know the artist that I'm thinking of when I say this. I don't want to mention him because one of their biggest claims to fame is that he and Taylor Swift have been having a feud for a very long time. So, but one of his albums, The Life of Somebody, I didn't like that album at first either, but the more and more I listened to it, I was like, okay, yeah, this is actually pretty decent. So I feel like it's one of those albums to where it's like, yeah, you just gotta listen to it like a whole lot. But what was interesting though to me is that I went to Target, and I like shopping at Target. So I went to Target, and this was like maybe a few days right after the album released. And I don't know how many of you shop at Target or how many of you know, but Target has, just like most of these big box stores, they have severely scrolled back on like their music sections, and even a lot of them have scrolled back on their book sections too, right? So it's weird that these stores have basically shrank their art and entertainment sections when those sections used to be pretty huge. I remember the Walmart section that would take up almost, I'm going to say, a third of the back of almost every Walmart store. And this is even just 8 years ago, honestly. Now it's kind of just a really small section, and it's got a whole lot of TVs and a whole lot of like laptops and tablets and stuff, but you don't really get a whole lot of the actual entertainment stuff. But they had Taylor's album, the actual vinyl album, as well as the CDs there. And you know what? That was literally the only music that they actually had in the store. I couldn't believe it. I was like, dang, have we really gone this? It was just so crazy to see that there were maybe like 5 or 10 other vinyls. And God, I don't even think there were any other CDs in the store at all. But I get it because most people don't even use CDs anymore. It was just such a weird and interesting thing to see, though, that she had like this whole little display to where she had actual vinyl albums and she had CDs, and then I even think they had like cards. God, I don't even know. I don't even know what the name on it. It might have been a Spotify card or something like that. But it was a card with money on it so that you could go in and use that as a gift card to purchase the songs online, MP3s and whatever. So, but yeah, got another Taylor Swift song. So, or excuse me, another Taylor Swift album. So I think that was a pretty good thing for this month of April. Another thing that I really liked is that playoff basketball in the NBA is finally back. Now, again, I know that some of you don't like conflating entertainment, like scripted stuff, songs, all that stuff, with sports, but sports very much so is entertainment. I mean, let's keep it real, fresh and funky. Yes, you can just watch a regular sport without having any sort of other drama, I guess, tucked into it or scripted into it. But if we're being honest, watching sports and making it dramatic, making it more of a dramatic experience kind of has made all sports better. And I can't wait until we have the Olympics this summer. I'm a big Olympics fan, summer and winter. I watch them every single time that they come on, every 2 years that the Olympics are on. And the Olympics are great, but they're almost nothing without the backstory of like the athletes and how they trained and how they grew up and all that stuff. So when I'm looking at the NBA playoff basketball, I'm like, I'm getting ready, geared up to not only watch, hopefully, some great basketball, even though, the basketball has not seemed that great as of late, but I'm also hoping to get some interesting stories and things of that nature. So Milwaukee Bucks, we thought that, well, there were a lot of people that thought that the Milwaukee Bucks this was going to potentially be their year. And for all the talk that I remember of last summer, there were basically 3 top teams that people were looking at. They were Milwaukee, Boston Celtics, and potentially the Phoenix Suns, because they have Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and Bradley Beal, I think. I think that's his name. I forgot it, unfortunately, but he was from Washington, D.C., and that's what people were looking at. They were like, oh, my God, these teams, oh, man, they could do some real damage. And Boston is doing pretty good, but in Milwaukee, oh, man, Giannis Antetokounmpo, he went down. I don't even know what his injury is right now. But then Dame Lillard, who was traded from Portland to Milwaukee, he also got injured in the first game. No, wait a minute, hold on. Was it the first game? Yeah, I think it was game one of their series. And Milwaukee is like the second team in the Eastern Conference. So I'm like, oh man, that just changes the whole feel of what the playoffs could be going forward. So, injuries are always this dramatic thing. You got behind the scenes stuff going on. It's just great. It's some really great stuff. And I'm hoping to see some really great basketball out of, I think Dallas Mavericks came in out of Kyrie Irving. I'll be honest with you, I haven't been keeping up that much with the Western Conference teams. I'm a Cleveland Cavaliers fan. My mouth is kind of dry, so I'm stumbling over my words a little bit tonight. I'm a Cleveland Cavaliers fan, so I don't really keep up that much with the Western teams all that much. But Kyrie Irving, he seemed a little ticked off that he did not get chosen to be on the USA basketball team for this summer's Olympics. So hopefully, if he's not injured, which he shouldn't be, because he shouldn't be, but hopefully he's putting on a show and making them regret it. So we'll see what's going on there, but. Yeah, NBA playoff basketball is back once again, and yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing all the rounds and whatnot. In recent years, even though I have handles like on Twitter or X, I guess, and Instagram that include b-ball, I have not been watching nearly as much basketball in general, especially not NBA basketball. Just for reasons. It's all sorts of reasons. The team hadn't been that good. They've quietly, sneakily, the Cavs have been way better in the last couple of years, but. I don't know. I just had a malaise about it. So I'm glad that that's back. Speaking of WNBA, they had their draft. Caitlin Clark, who I have not seen yet. I haven't seen her play. I didn't watch the March Madness. I never do. The only time that I ever watched March Madness was when I want to say it was just a few years back, but I know it was longer than that. This might have been a decade ago at this point. Because, 2020 and 2021, they always throw me off when thinking about the past. But last time I watched the March Madness was when the UConn Huskies, I believe, were set to become the most, or was it the most winningest, or the perfect? I think it was maybe the most winningest team in sports history. So like they were going to go 83 or 88 and 0, having won season after season after season after season. And I can't even remember if they actually achieved that. God, I can't remember if they achieved it. Because the UConn Huskies, if you're a teenager right now and you're like, you don't really know, the UConn Huskies were super dominant. They just were winning freaking everything for years with under Gino Auriemma. And oh man, they were destructive. And they even got me into them along with the drafting of Skylar Diggins. For a few years, got me into watching the WNBA. And then, of course, I fell off a little bit, honestly, just like I did with the NBA, because their games they're just not as promoted, all that stuff. But yeah. So I'm looking forward to all of that. I wonder, does Caitlin get to go to the Olympics? I'm sure she does. I don't know. Anyways, I want to see her. I also want to see that Angel Reese girl. I want to see what they can do, so I might watch a few games of WNBA. Hopefully, they start promoting it a little bit more, so we'll see. Moving on, back to scripted stuff. So with the scripted stuff, I really want to start with... I really want to start with the TV show CBS's Elsbeth, okay? Now, first off, it's Elsbeth, not Elizabeth. Elsbeth, Elsbeth. Now, yes, this show technically it premiered in February, I want to say. But they did one of those weird things that I kind of hate, to where they will say that, oh, get a sneak peek of the show, and then they'll just show you the first episode of the series, and then they won't show, like the next time that it comes on, it'll be, oh, we're showing episode 2. And it's like, wait a minute, what? That wasn't a sneak peek. That was a premiere, like a legit, straight up premiere of the show. If it's a sneak peek, you should show us the first episode again. Thankfully, they showed us the first episode again, so I was okay. But anyways, man, how to describe Elsbeth? It's an interesting show, and if it does have a doppelganger that we can draw on, a comparison, I gotta admit, the comparison is not readily available to me. It's not like coming to mind super quickly. So basically, well, let me actually say this. This is a story, so it's going to be probably long. But this was some time ago. So this is probably more than 10 years ago at this point. I was actually working on a thriller slash mystery book. And at the time, as I always do, I try to push myself to figure out or find unique angles to approach something, to approach a story, to tell a story, et cetera, et cetera. And so at the time, I was trying to figure out how to, in some ways, turn the mystery on its head. Now, mind you, I don't really consider myself to be specifically a mystery or thriller or psychological thriller writer per se. I've written a few of them, but they're not really my forte. But I figured, yeah, I'm going to try to do it. And so my idea that I came up with is that I was going to focus in not on the who done it, but on the why done it. And so the book that I came up with was called The Quieting Room. Now, I had actually been thinking of The Quieting Room for about 10 years even prior to that. So we're talking maybe 20 years in total. I've been thinking about it since I was a little kid. And it was actually one of the first and basically only things that I let my mom read. And the only reason why is because I was working on a family computer at the time. In fact, it's the one behind me here. It's no longer in use, but I was working on it at the time, and I accidentally left the file for it open. And so, she just came downstairs one day and just started reading it. I never actually, I think I did actually finish the book, but I never edited the book, so I didn't let her read it, any more of it. But in any case, that was supposed to be focusing on motive. And I remember being a little ticked off a few years later when a TV show also came on, and it was literally called either Motive or The Motive or Motives. It was an ABC show that it got canceled after the first season. So you followed detectives who were going after killers, and they were trying to figure out why they would kill these people. And so it got canceled on ABC, but it got picked up on like USA or something. And apparently it stayed on for 4 or 5 years, but I didn't watch it after that. Well, Elsbeth is almost, it's not a whodunit. It's definitely not a whodunit. Not only do you know who did the crime, but in general, almost all of the who do the crime, they are like the top sort of actors. They're top TV actors, let's say. Because the first one that we start with is, I believe his name is Stephen Moyer. He was the main vampire on True Blood, if any of you guys remember that. He was main vampire on True Blood, so he's, he's got some money, he's got some clout behind his name, all that stuff. And basically what the series is that it follows Elsbeth, the character of Elsbeth, who is a defense attorney, I do believe, who is now been tasked with two things. The first thing we know immediately, she's a, God, I can't even remember what they say she is. She basically she's like an outside observer, okay? Whenever the police come, specifically detectives, come to a crime scene, she has to watch and make sure that they are doing things pretty much by the book. And this, of course, is in New York. So she's watching them because there have been a number of complaints against the city of New York, specifically one particular department. And so she has to make sure that they are staying on track and doing the right stuff. Well, she also, while doing that and while working these, the only thing she's really supposed to be doing is watch the police work. But she ends up working the cases herself and solving. But the interesting thing about the show is that, again, you as an audience member, you pretty much know everything that you need to know. So it's not like it's a mystery show per se. It's just you are watching her put all the clues together that you kind of already know. Like, it's weird because I don't know if I would have ever thought of this. And like I said, I'm sure it has a doppelganger. I'm sure it has a show that you can say like, oh, this is exactly like that. Pretty much everything does. Every film, every television show, et cetera, has that has come before it. It has a comparative doppelganger. But I just can't think of one right now to where it's like, you know everything that happens. And that's how they open every single episode. You see the person committing the crime. You know why they're committing the crime. Again, you know how they commit the crime. It's almost just like yeah, it's almost just like you're just watching her figure things out for themselves. The best comparison I guess I can make is that it's like when you, and I don't know how many of you will get this because I don't know how the age of my audience, my analytics are still not really kicking in, but it's almost like when you teach somebody else how to do something, and or you see a younger person, a child or someone picking up on a lesson and just like getting it. In some weird way, every time I watch the show, I feel almost like a teacher, right? Like I feel like the way the teachers describe the one reason why they love their job. Yes, the job is super hard, blah, 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 all that good stuff. But that one moment where you can see a child pick up and get and understand or even fall in love with a particular subject or something like that, and you see their eyes light up, and you see you can almost see the machinations in their mind turning and being like, oh, I understand this now, I can put it together. That's kind of what the show is. It gives me that weird kind of good feeling about murder. It's just such a man, it's just such an interesting show, and I just don't know why, but I really kind of love it. I really do. And it stars the woman from and I can't even remember her character's name, but she was one of the women from the show Claws. If any of you have seen that, I know most of my audience is probably male, but that was a pretty good show in and of itself as well. So yeah, it's not like it's a comedy per se, but it does have like some funny moments and eccentricities to it, to her character and all that stuff. So it's just an enjoyable show. I just don't even know what else to say. It's just an enjoyable show. It really is. And then finally, I'll end with this with a little bit of reality TV. So, Vanderpump Rules, of course, it blew up pretty much the whole world, it seemed like, last year with the whole Sandoval thing, right? Tom Sandoval cheating on his longtime partner, Ariana, with a good friend of both of theirs, Rachel/Raquel Leviss. So, and I had been a long time fan of Vanderpump Rules, but I'd fallen off of it in 2020, but now I'm back. So, yes, the whole situation with Tom and Ariana, it's still playing out on the show, obviously. It was filmed last summer in July and August, so all that drama is still fairly fresh. But the interesting thing, though, is it doesn't even have anything to do with Tom and Ariana. It actually has to do with the other Tom Schwartz, and his ex, Katie. Yo. Oh my God. So in probably the most recent episode, I think this is I'm filming this on the 28th now, so maybe the episode on maybe on the 20th or even the 19th. No, it's probably maybe 22nd or somewhere in there, because it comes on Tuesday. For whatever reason, Tom Schwartz just insists that he legitimately wants to still be friends with Katie. And somehow, some way, he has finagled his way back into her good graces. And now, in that episode, they actually sat at a table together out to lunch, I believe, somewhere at a restaurant. And they were talking like civil people. This has not happened pretty much in at least maybe 2 seasons of them just talking civil to each other. And not only that, but this was legitimately the first time ever that I, weirdly enough, liked the two of them sort of together. Like, I know that they're not together anymore, but they had some great banter back and forth because of the fact that she was talking about how he's getting back out into the dating scene. And weirdly enough, they sort of both went on a date with the same woman. 2 different dates, of course, but they went on a date with the same woman. And this woman is much younger than both of them. Yeah, I don't know. And they're sitting there like comparing, because the girl actually texts both of them while they are out there in a restaurant. And I was like, I swear to God, you cannot script this stuff. Yes, you can. Obviously, I'm a writer, so I should be getting paid to script it. But it was just so perfect the way it was. I'm like, there's no way that that Hollywood writers are really coming up with this stuff, because it was just too perfect. They're sitting at the table and they both receive a text from her, and they check, because they have like this little competition of who's gonna win this girl, and Katie is like, oh, she clearly liked me way better, blah blah blah. And then they both check their phone, and his text came in earlier than hers, like 3 or 4 minutes earlier than hers. And she's like, I don't know, man. It was just really funny to me. It was just really funny to me, because I was like, this is weird. This is the, and of course, I watch plenty of reality TV, because as a side note, Love During Lockup, that's also back, and that's the most ratchet and ridiculous show I think I've ever seen in my life. So I've watched plenty of reality TV before, and I've seen a lot of weird, different couplings and thruplings and all sorts of relationship dynamics, but this has got to be up there as being one of the weirdest ones. Like, you guys are competing. I don't know, man. It was just entertaining. It was just really entertaining. So, but yeah, I think I'm gonna end it here. This one went long for no real reason at all. So I gotta do some other videos as well. And look out for in May. I'm gonna be doing my food videos and stuff. Finally. So hopefully we can actually get some money here coming in. So yeah, I don't have a sign. So while I don't have an official sign off yet, I guess I should do the whole please like, comment, share, and if you so desire and you want to see more, subscribe. But more importantly, I will ask that you please go and purchase one of my books. They are mostly ebooks, and pretty much they are all under $10. See if any of my work is actually any good, if it lives up to any of the things that I'm talking about here on my channel, specifically with the entertainment industry videos. So please go purchase my books. All of my links are down below. Thank you.